Grease hung heavy in the air as Jack, a rugged, middle-aged mechanic, worked under the belly of an old pickup truck. His small-town garage in rural Ohio buzzed with the usual symphony of clinking tools and humming engines. Jack, a man of few words, preferred machines to people, until that day. A small voice cut through the noise. Jack rolled out to see a boy, no older than 6, holding a bent bicycle. His clothes were dusty, shoes untied, eyes too serious for someone so young. "Sir, my name's Max. My bike's broken." And, the boy paused, then said quietly, "I don't have a daddy. Can you fix that too?" Jack froze, heart thudding under his grease-stained shirt. He was expecting a repair job, not a life story. Max wasn't just asking for a working bike, he was asking for someone to show up, to care. Jack had no idea what to say, but in that moment, something shifted. He saw himself in Max, abandoned, alone, craving stability. He took the bike and began to fix it, but in doing so, he unknowingly began repairing something else, something broken inside both of them. That simple question from a fatherless boy cracked open years of silence in Jack's life. The shop suddenly felt less like a garage and more like a place where something deeper could be restored. It wasn't just about nuts and bolts anymore. It was about healing, one wrench turn at a time. The sun cast golden beams through the dusty windows at the back of Jack's auto shop, turning the grease-stained space into something almost warm. Max sat quietly on an old stool, watching intently as Jack adjusted the bent frame of his small, beat-up bike. His tiny fingers clutched a can of orange soda Jack had given him, the first act of kindness he'd received all day. "Where's your mom?" Jack asked, not prying, just gently curious. Max took a small sip before answering. "She works at the diner. Double shifts. She's real tired most of the time." Jack nodded, swallowing hard. His eyes lingered on the boy longer than he meant to. He saw more than just a kid with a broken bike. He saw a reflection of himself, a boy left behind, trying to piece together a world that didn't quite fit. He remembered the silence of foster homes, the birthdays no one showed up for, the ache of being forgotten. Max didn't need sympathy. He needed something steady. Someone. As Jack tightened a bolt, he realized this wasn't just a fix-up job. This wasn't just about spokes or pedals. Max needed a safe place to land. A reason to show up tomorrow. A friend. In that quiet moment, between the soft clink of tools and the setting sun, a bond began to form, one that neither of them fully understood yet. But both of them needed it more than they could say. Days passed, and something magical began to unfold inside the old auto shop. Jack cleared out a dusty corner of the garage, once cluttered with unused tools and rusted parts, and made space just for Max. He brought in a small bench, a toolbox with Max's name on it, and a radio that played old country songs. Each afternoon, like clockwork, Max would come running in, face lit with excitement. Jack taught him the basics: how to oil a chain, tighten brakes, patch a tire. Max picked it up fast, asking endless questions, his laughter echoing through the garage in a way Jack hadn't heard in years. They didn't just fix bikes. They talked, about school, about favorite sandwiches, about the stars. Jack listened more than he spoke, but in those small exchanges, healing began, for both of them. One quiet evening, after they'd repaired an old tricycle together, Jack surprised Max with a wooden sign, Max's Corner. He'd carved it himself, every letter rough but proud. Max's eyes widened, and without saying a word, he wrapped his arms around Jack's waist. "You're kinda like my dad," Max whispered against his chest. Jack's heart clenched. He gave Max a pat on the back, then stepped outside, eyes blinking fast. He stared up at the dusky sky, pretending to look for clouds, but really just hiding the tears. That night, the garage wasn't just a shop. It was a place where two broken hearts quietly began to put each other back together. The shop glowed softly on Christmas Eve, lit by a string of mismatched dollar store lights Jack had dug out from a dusty box. The air smelled of pine-scented oil and fresh snow drifting through the cracked door. It wasn't fancy, but it felt like home. Max walked in, his mittened hand tucked into his mother's. She looked tired, but her eyes held a quiet gratitude. Jack greeted them with a nod, his usual rough edges softened by the season. He reached into his jacket and handed her an envelope. "I've been putting some money aside, for you and Max. No kid should feel empty on Christmas." Her eyes welled with tears, and she covered her mouth, speechless. Then Jack turned to Max, crouching to his level. "Got something for you, kid." He pulled out a neatly wrapped box with a crooked red bow. Max tore it open, gasping as he uncovered a gleaming rebuilt BMX bike, painted electric blue with silver handlebars. On the seat sat a small photo frame. Inside was a picture of Jack and Max, standing proudly beneath the Max's Corner sign. Below it, in Jack's careful handwriting, were the words, "Family, built, not born." Max held the frame like treasure. His mother wiped away tears, and Jack looked down, suddenly shy. That night, the garage wasn't just twinkling from string lights, it was glowing with something far rarer. Hope. Belonging. Love found in the most unexpected place. A year had passed, and Jack's once quiet garage had transformed into something extraordinary. A new wooden sign hung proudly above the door. "Mechanics Forever, fixing more than machines." Inside, laughter echoed alongside the clatter of tools. Max, now a little taller and more confident, wore a mini tool belt and helped other neighborhood kids fix their bikes. He showed them how to patch tires, align handlebars, and adjust brakes, just as Jack had taught him. Jack watched from his usual spot near the workbench, arms crossed, a soft smile etched across his face. The man who once buried himself in engines and silence now chuckled freely, his eyes crinkling with lines carved by joy instead of sorrow. One afternoon, Max knelt beside a boy struggling with a rusty chain. As he worked, he said quietly, "When Jack fixed my bike, he kinda fixed something in me too." Jack, hearing the words from a few feet away, froze. His hands, stained with years of labor, trembled, not from age, but from a wave of emotion he didn't try to hide. In that moment, he understood. This garage hadn't just repaired wheels, it had rebuilt lives. Sometimes the heart knows how to heal. One bolt, one bike, one boy at a time.